said, I'm Pat Jones, that she don't know. These two jokers here like to think that they're both John's best friend. However, I actually hold that title as John and I have been best friends for twice as long as we've been combined, 26 years ago. So let me take you all back to September of 1999, when John and I's love story began. It was none other than St. Thomas the Apostle School. It was the first day of first grade. We were in the gym, lining up with our kids as we always did. And I was looking around at some of the new faces when I noticed this big, tall, goofy-looking man standing up in the corner. Well, you never seen before. Now, mind you, this was late 90s, and the pool was all the rage. I noticed something different about John. It wasn't that he was a foot taller than me, like everybody else, and he was still sound, but actually it was his backpack that I noticed. I noticed his backpack was different than everybody else's, and it had wheels on it. And John was really behind him like he was at the airport. So me, being the rational 7-year-old that I was, I looked around and thought to myself, look at this loser. Yes, I later find out as years go on that John and I had something in common. We were both losers. We got along great. Now, John and Tom told you all about what you already know about how great a guy John is. Nobody here needs to know that. So I won't stand up here and be a dead horse. I want to stand here for a few minutes and tell you all about how John, my best friend, has been the bane of my existence for 26 years. Now, let me tell you just a couple stories that will be here all night. So let me take you back to the summer of 2016. I went away to Army basic training, my advanced training, for about 6 months. John was well aware of this fact. So was the other John. Well aware of the fact that I'd been gone for 6 months. John and John, as they always did, figured it'd be funny to mess with me while I was gone. Both of them got the brilliant idea that it would be funny to go online to a site where you can order all different types of quantities of bugs. The site also offered other pranks and delicacies, like bees, spiders, ants, and camel shit. As our dear friend Ron found out not long ago. John and John decided they ordered 10,000 ladybugs and had them shipped to me. But they didn't ship it to Fort Valley, Georgia. They shipped it to my home address, which still happened to be my parents' house in Glen Mills. Yeah, you heard that right, my parents' house. They still live. Now remember, I was off in South Georgia, isolated from the world, sweating my ass off in service to John and his country. So, for anybody here that's in your basic training, you get about 1 phone call per month. I was really looking forward to calling my family and giving them updates on how miserable my life was starting was. I was really looking forward to calling my wife and hearing my mother's sweet voice again. The weeks went on, the sweat poured, and I finally got to make that phone call again. I was so excited to talk to my mother. She answered the phone and said, "Hi, it's me. I have a few minutes. How are you?" My mother immediately started angrily ripping into me about how she opened a package inside of the house and now there were 10,000 ladybugs all over the inside of their house. My mother thought that I did this as some sort of prank against her for being resentful towards me that I left. I immediately knew who the culprit was because who else would it be besides my best friend, who only ever shows how much he loves me in the form of annoyance and frustration. My mother would never believe that John Ryan could do such a thing.
I did not. Never.
Fast forward, August of 2025, my daughter married Paige for his birthday. Everybody got these cute little gifts, stuffed animals, Kinder toys, you name it. Typical 1-year-old stuff. What does Uncle John get her? A giant wooden playhouse with every accessory you can think of. You would think, wow, what a nice gift. But no. I saw right through it. John didn't get the Because John went in the playhouse before. A playhouse that John thought would take me once to put together and bring me endless suffering in the process. But again, who paid the price in the end? My parents. My poor father, Joe, took 2 entire days at his own weekend when his hands and knees sweating his skin in the air. Drove an hour each way into my house, hustling under the strap the whole time. John thought he had me again. No. After all these years, I still haven't figured it out. Again, I can stand here all night and go on and on with ridiculous stories about John and I, but I'll get this show on the road before the beer gets warm. John and Tom already touched on how great a guy John is. But why is John such a great guy? Why is John honestly the nicest, kindest, most polite, most selfless person any of us have ever met? His parents. Jane and John Sr. John Sr. could not be here tonight, be with us here tonight, but he's with us in spirit. Probably laughing up a storm, now knowing that everything I just said is 100% true. John Sr. passed away nearly 4 years ago to this day. He passed away from lifelong complications sustained in the line of duty as a police officer when a drunk driver nearly cut him in half. John Sr. was a man of great integrity and service, just like his son. John's wife, Jane, Aunt Jane is we lovingly referred to, never left John's side. John Jr. took a vow today, the same vow that I took, the same vow that his parents took. As they say, through the good and the bad, through the rich times and poor times, through sickness and through health. Jane is the epitome of this vow. Jane took care of her husband John every day for 35 years. Nearly all day every day for many years before he passed. All while raising a fantastic son and my closest friend in the process. For many years, John and I hung out nearly every day, sometimes at my house, sometimes at his house, many times at his shore house. I saw the personification of love and care in Jane and John's marriage. The personification of love and care in the raising of their son, treating me like I was their own son as well. They raised an outstanding person, an outstanding friend, and now an outstanding husband. I honestly thought to myself many times, how can I be more like John? Even now, while I'm doing it at work, I often think to myself, how would John handle this situation? Would John handle it like me and threaten to throw people off the Gerard Point Bridge? Probably not. Listen, I have next WWJD. What would John Jr. do? What would John Sr. do? What would Jane do? I truly believe everyone here tonight owes a deep debt of gratitude to Jane Brown for being a wonderful wife, a wonderful mother, and a wonderful friend. So right now, I ask that let's everybody give a big round of applause to Jane Brown. John is, before we get the show on the road. I think in the summer of 2009 or 2010, we were in high school. I was over at our friend Mike Nazarian's house. Mike, myself, and some other guys were hanging out around the pool, enjoying life as a teenager. Probably smoking cigarettes that we stole from the Wawa and drinking his dad's beer, like the degenerates that we were. I saw an ambulance pull up to the house across the street. A few minutes later, I saw John, a volunteer EMT with Cottonville Fire Company at the time, helping an elderly lady out of her house and into the ambulance. I saw John being an upstanding citizen on his own time during his summer vacation, helping someone that asked for help. Kind of made me rethink my life choices at the time, seeing how much better of a person John was than me. I truly believe that now being a father myself, that children are exact replicas of their parents. If you're 8, yeah, that's what If you're 8 years as a police officer, I realize that you have to behave the same way that we do. You're going to treat other people the same way you treat people. John is a spitting image of his mother and father, both physically and spiritually. John will go miles and miles and hours out of his way to help anyone. He's done it before and will damn well do it again. He'll answer the phone at any hour, mostly because he never sleeps. He got all this from his mother and his father. He's the best shady uncle my daughter will ever have.